Hello there guys and welcome back to Blues Fans TV for yet another Premier League live match review by myself as Chelsea went to lose another game. As we lost 2-1 at Wolves with the last minute winner by Pedro Neto, equaling or cancelling Olivier Giroud's winner, early in the second half, and it was all really a bit awful. It was genuinely all really a bit awful. I hope you're all doing well in general, because I'm not, because that was honestly shocking. And I'm very disappointed. I'm very annoyed at a lot of things. There's a lot of things to talk about. So, let's do that today. And of course, if you're new to Blues Fans TV, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be massively appreciated. Drop a like on this live stream if you're watching this right now, if you're watching it later on as a video. And be sure to subscribe to my personal channel, which is called Lampard Escoli. The link to it is down in the description below, or just type in the name over on YouTube. I will be doing a more in-depth analysis on today's game over there tomorrow afternoon. So if you don't want to miss that, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be massively appreciated. And yeah, just lastly, let me quickly shout out our sponsors. That'd be massively appreciated if you could just follow those things, basically. Just if you fancy any of the new Chelsea kits, really, just make sure you use one of the links down in the description below and use our promo code VAR65 for up to 65% off. But now getting into the game rather. Of course, I will get to what you guys have put into the chat in just a little bit. But let's start it off with our lineup. Which was this. Pretty much what we kind of all hoped for, in all honesty. That's not actually the team I wanted to put there. Well, let's ignore that because that's what was meant to be. I put something else there. And turns out it just went missing. Any which way, the team was Edouard Mendy in goal. Centre-back partnership of Kurt Zouma and Thiago Silva. At left-back, it was Ben Chilwell. At right-back, Reece James. It was still a 4-3-3 with 1 DM and 2 8. So N'Golo Kante was the defensive midfielder. Mason Mount remained as the left-side centre midfielder, but Kai Havertz came into the side to play as the right-sided centre midfielder, or rather, not came into the side, but dropped back from the right wing to play as the right-sided centre midfielder. Timo Werner, initially started on the left. Christian Pulisic, very surprisingly to all of us, I think, started as the left winger, and Olivier Giroud started again up top. We already have a donation here by Fantasy PGA Tour for £5. Really appreciate that, mate. And he said Werner and Havertz, anonymous again, both so poor, both look scared, and like the whole brain freezes whenever they get the ball. It genuinely do be feeling like that. And it's really, really frustrating. It's honestly a piss take. I mean, we go into the game and we were slow and lethargic again, exactly like the first 20 minutes against Everton. Nothing was happening for the first 5 to 10 minutes. Let's say Wolves had all of the possession. They were just messing with us. We barely got a touch of the ball, and whenever we did, we lost it within 2 or 3 passes. It was honestly awful. There was no press. We set we had nothing going for us. The only thing that started happening is that whenever Christian Pulisic got the ball on the left, mind you, I will get to this. On the left, mind you. That's when we did a little something every now and again, right? But for the most part, it was kind of awful just throughout. But whenever Christian Pulisic did something was happening. Either he tried to cross the ball, or he went past Semedo about 15 million times, whether he played through Giroud, who then tried to go for the cutback, or whether he cut it back himself. Loads of things were happening, but Christian Pulisic was actually the only one that I was actually doing anything good. N'Golo Kante was fair enough, was pretty decent today, I thought, for the most part. But everyone else had an absolute shocker. And, there was a couple of moments that maybe we could have done a little bit better with. But other than Kurt Zouma heading the ball against the crossbar following a Mason Mount corner, we actually had nothing happening in the first half, and it was a dead game. Later on in the first half, Christian Pulisic and Timo Werner actually swapped sides, which still worked for a little bit because Christian Pulisic tried to do something. In the end, just won us a corner, but still did. Going into the second half, though, we remained like that. We've remained like that pretty much. Timo Werner on the left, Christian Pulisic on the right. And I'm set that frank. That Timo Werner, the only reason he's still playing on the wing, is still in the team, realistically, is because everyone else is out injured, right? Everyone else that could play instead of him there, or maybe Timo would play up top, but, Timo there certainly wouldn't be playing on the wing anymore with his recent performances. The only reason he's still playing there is because Christian Hakim Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi are injured, right? And then you go and take Christian Pulisic from his better side and put him on his worst side to the right side to prioritize Timo Werner for some unbeknownst reason to myself and play him on the left. And I say this because even though Timo Werner was actually involved in the build-up, but I say this too, and I will get to the donation in just a second, Harry. We scored through Olivier Giroud with actually a nice goal. Reece James switches the ball over to Timo Werner. Timo has a decent touch with his chest, waits, for the perfect moment to pass it to Ben Chilwell, made the run in behind him. Ben Chilwell then puts in the cross, a good cross, not the most incredible cross. A lot to do still for Olivier Giroud, but he did all of it with it. put, you know, a perfect volley in around the defender basically and straight at the keeper, and Rui Patricio thankfully let it through. But actually, which I found out since, and I thought already in the first replay, Timo Werner was actually offside in the build-up and VAR just missed it, and that goal should have never stood. And again, I'm just fuming at Timo Werner. Of course, we got away with it, but mate, you're so fast. Why on earth are you constantly offside? It's not like you're doing anything when you're on the ball. At least don't be offside. It's honestly shocking. But let's get to this £4.99 donation by Harry Gilliam. We don't have enough quality to win the league. If we can't win the next few games, I've got to ask questions about Lampard. I mean, win the next few games. To be honest, I don't even remember all of our next fixtures, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. But yeah, we need to go back to winning ways. Of course, you know, people like to jump to conclusions, say this and that. It's still only our third defeat of the season, right? I know it's awful that they came in quick succession, and it's really bad timing, and it seems that we should be beating, especially because both Everton and Wolves had actually been in really poor form, and we should be doing better. And, you know, the injuries aren't the only excuse and aren't an excuse. I will accept it as an excuse against Everton, but not today when Christian Pulisic plays the whole 90 minutes. It's not an excuse then. And honestly, you do be feeling like the fact all of that energy we used against Leeds was just all wasted, because we used so much energy ever since then. We looked dead. Whether it was against Krasnodar, whether it was against Everton, or whether it was tonight against Wolves, we just looked dead from top to bottom. No one's running. No one's doing nothing. You know, Reece James looked absolutely shattered by the end. But let me talk through that first, because first, straight after, basically, we scored a 1-0. Wolves already equalised, but it was called offside, rightly so, called offside. Then Pedro Neto clearly dives because Reece James doesn't touch him. He falls over, and aside from that, it was outside the box anyway. So I have no idea why it ever got to the penalty situation, why the ref even had to go to the screen to check himself. The VAR in his ear should have just told him, mate, wasn't even in the box, can't be a pen. Okay, thankfully, I guess we had the free kick. Otherwise, they would have had a free kick if they said it was outside the box, but still a foul, I guess. But in the end, so that happened. But that was actually, was that at 1-0 still? I actually think it was, yeah. Was it 1-1? Either which way, one thing I did forget about. No, I didn't forget about that. I hadn't got that yet. I'm a bit all over the shop today. All right, I do apologize. But so we concede through Daniel Podence. In what minute was it? Let me get 66th minute or something. 66th minute through Daniel Podence, following a corner. That wasn't a corner. The ball was crossed in, and they thought Zuma cleared it. Wasn't actually Zuma that cleared it. Should have been a goal kick, but VAR doesn't check that. I mean, but hey, I can't really complain about that now that I realize that our goal shouldn't have stood. So I really can't be too mad at that. But still, and I know VAR can't check on it by the rules, but I don't understand the rules. Why shouldn't VAR be able to check whether a ball should have been a corner or not? Like, by the time it takes so long for a corner to actually be taken, in that time VAR would have long checked whether it should be a corner, and then if it's not, just give a goal kick. Surely that's the much more logical thing to do, right? Surely. I think we can all agree on that. But anyways, shouldn't have been a corner. Ball's played in. We kind of win the first header. We play it back out. It's played back in. Thiago Silva kind of heads the ball into the air. It falls between, I can't remember who, but between two Chelsea players. Daniel Podence gets the ball, makes Ben Chilwell look like a mug. Reece James just about gets in there, but Daniel Podence shot towards the near post. Actually took a slight deflection of Reece James, making it unsavable for Edouard Mendy in goal. And it's 1-1. And it's 1-1. And after that, did we do anything? No. I mean, we had a couple of moments in the first half and the second half where the ball was crossed in. Once Werner missed the ball, once Havertz missed the ball. It's funny how it's always these two, isn't it? It's always these two that miss the ball at the moment. It's shocking. It honestly really, really is. But then in the last minute, into 90 whatever minute, 96th minute apparently, 90 plus 6 according to my app here, Pedro Neto goes on the counter-attack. You know, we have a cross. Ben Chilwell crosses the ball into the box, a bit too far behind everybody. It's cleared for a corner. Reece James look absolutely shattered, barely turns around. Zuma doesn't look great either. Pedro Neto goes through and finds, honestly, as much as we like to say, oh, Reece James didn't do well, Zuma didn't do well, for Neto, who played the entire game, if I'm not mistaken, to do that in the 96th minute, to go on that sprint and to hit the ball with that precision and that power is remarkable, because there was nothing Edouard Mendy could do about it. That rifled into the bottom corner of the opposite side. Like, it really, really did. Into the side netting. That was an outrageous finish. And, you know, as much as I'm disgusted by it, for the whole thing to even happen in the first place, still have to give credit where credit's due, because that was a banger finish. Regardless, though, the game was just a shambles. The game was just a shambles. Like I said in the title, like I said already, why on earth was the entire second half Christian Pulisic playing on the right and Timo Werner on the left? Timo Werner, every time he touched the ball, he either gave the ball away or played the safest pass you could ever possibly think of. But Christian Pulisic played the entire second half on the right out of the last 3 minutes. And also, How can Christian Pulisic not even be in the squad against Everton and then play the full 90 minutes today? This makes absolutely zero sense to me. Like, zero sense. And Christian Pulisic had good moments, but if you're thinking, why didn't he do nothing in the second half? First of all, the right side is his weaker side. We all know that. Christian Pulisic is an unbelievable player, but still not the finished product. He's still not quite a Hazard that can do it on both sides. And even Hazard was significantly better on the left than he was on the right. But regardless, honestly, at some point, you sit there and like, the guy's probably scared to get injured again, so of course he's not going to do that much anymore. And you still have Werner on the left, who's doing nothing all of the time. The only good thing that he did was that pass to Chilwell before the Giroud goal. But actually, Werner was offside for that. So I would have been even more fuming at that point. It's honestly remarkable how bad we've been these last two games. Slow, lethargic, no plan. Against Everton, our plan was to only cross the ball from the right. Today, we only crossed the ball from the left. I don't know why that is the thing. Reece James barely hit any crosses today. And, initially it wasn't fully the case in the second half anymore because Ben Chilwell actually still kept crossing the ball, even though Werner was on the left all the time. But one thing I do want to mention, which I have noticed recently, against Everton, when we all said Chilwell didn't have a good game, Reece James was unbelievable, and we had all the crosses from the right, nothing from the left. Well, guess which side Werner played on, i.e. the left. Look which side struggled to do anything. And again today, look which side struggled, because in the first half, Timo Werner was on the right, Pulisic was on the left, and out of nowhere, Reece James does nothing all the first half. Shocker that. Because now Werner's on the right and Pulisic is on the left. I'm not saying Kai Havertz was any brilliant against Everton, but clearly helped Reece James more than Werner on the other side helped Ben Chilwell. And what these two are doing at the moment, and I'm still letting Kai Havertz much more off the hook than I am Timo Werner, and fair enough. Some of you might disagree with this, but I still firmly believe into the same things I said after the Everton game. Kai Havertz is 3 years younger, came from his boyhood club, big difference. Also just contracted that certain illness that we're not meant to mention over here, was out for 3 weeks. I guarantee not 100% fitness. Even if he claims to be, he definitely isn't. If you just talk to anybody that was hit by it quite hard, whether it's athletes or anybody else, it hits you for a while. Whether it was Lewis Hamilton on the weekend, who said he was absolutely dead after the race, which he isn't, other than when they race in Singapore. Whether you talk to Paul Pogba, who had the same issues, it's just not that simple, right? So I'm letting him off way more off the hook. I will give Timo Werner that he's not a genuine left winger and has to play on the left wing all the time. But I'm not accepting people criticizing Frank Lampard for that. At the start of the season, yes, I agree. Shouldn't necessarily have always been the case. But right now, who else do you have available? Would you have wanted Kai Havertz out there again just because Pulisic was available now? Would you have preferred Pulisic on the left, Havertz on the right, and then Werner up top? Maybe you could have said at least Werner might have been better. Do I think he would have been? Absolutely not. Because the guy can't control the ball, the guy can't pass, the guy can't dribble, the guy doesn't shoot. I'm not saying he can't shoot, I'm saying he doesn't shoot. Because I haven't seen him shoot a single ball in the last 2 games. And against Everton, at least he had a moment where he could have done. I didn't today. And this is honestly shocking. And Frank pissed me right off. Like, I'm not usually one to go against Frank when, especially with the injuries in the forwards, I guess. But to keep playing Pulisic on the right and Werner on the left, it's just ridiculous. We've seen this long enough now last season that Pulisic is significantly better on the left. So why on earth was Werner on the left all of the second half? This makes no sense. It makes no sense. But we have another £4.99 donation by Kevin Fraser saying Christian has glass bones and paper skin. Not mad we didn't play Christian against Everton. Lampard in, we can't forget last season. Yeah, I agree with this. But why on earth could he play the full 90 today then? It's just two and a half, 3 days since then. How can he go from not being able to be on the bench to playing full 90 minutes? If he came off after an hour today, fine. To be honest, I was crazily surprised that he started in the first place. So even more it would have made sense to me had he came on for the last half an hour. Okay, he starts playing for an hour, but no, he plays the whole 90 minutes. And I'm meant to understand why he wasn't in the squad against Everton. Makes zero sense to me. And Kai Havertz was shocking as well. He still did nothing. I thought he was a bit better than he was on a wing. But still, he lost the ball every time. Pretty much he had the ball. Whenever he always played way too simple passes, he never had movement after he released the ball. There were so many times he released the ball to whoever was on the right. It was Pulisic or Werner, released the ball there. They had to pass it back to Reece James. But rather than Kai Havertz making a run for Reece James to put it over the top and us going through, Havertz was just stood there every time, every single time. And I can't really criticize Zuma. Maybe for the goal, but in general, he was actually brilliant. Obviously, unlucky not to score from the corner in the first half. Thiago Silva, for the most part, was actually brilliant. Ben Chilwell had a couple of shocking crosses, but then assisted the goal as well. Didn't really get that much defensively, I thought. Reece James had a worse game than Ben Chilwell today. But then again, Reece James will be carrying us for the majority of the season, honestly. So can I be mad? No, but wasn't that good today. Monday, I don't think could do anything about the 2 goals, frankly. N'Golo Kante was good, but didn't really help us win the game either, in all honesty. Kovacic came on, didn't do much. Havertz, like I said, Mason Mount had a poor game. Had obviously the corner whipped in that Zuma hit against the bar, but other than that, didn't do nothing. And the front three were all awful. I mean, Giroud started the game by controlling a ball that bounced about 5 yards away from him, and we conceded a chance from it. But then again, he scored with a brilliant volley, and I will give him that. Other than that, did I see Olivier Giroud do much? Not really. But I'm not going to criticize Olivier Giroud today. I don't think he did particularly much wrong. In all honesty, he wasn't good, but he didn't do like so much wrong. Pulisic gets fouled every time he gets a touch, saying is what Michael says. All right, where did that comment go then? All right, it's gone. Sorry, Michael. And yeah, he did get fouled every time he gets the ball, but that was the same for Arsenal. That's the same for Jack Grealish. That's the same for, I don't know, Raheem Sterling. That just happens. That's just happened. And yes, we miss you, Hakim Ziyech. Yes, we do. But is that the only reason at the moment? No, it absolutely isn't. Because when two of your best players perform as the way they do right now, well, nothing's going to happen. And as much as people want to criticize Frank Lampard for that, well, who on earth is he meant to play instead? Yeah, I agree. I would have played Mateo Kovacic over Kai Havertz as well today. I don't understand why Kai started again. Don't get it. But he has no other option. We're playing Timo Werner, and then Timo Werner plays, and you just think yourself, honestly, I'd rather have Marcos Alonso on a wing right now. And you guys know how much I dislike Marcos Alonso. And I'm sat here saying I'd rather Marcos Alonso on the left wing right now than Timo Werner. Because it's honestly just, it's unbearable to watch. I can't hack it. You know that comment that apparently Thierry Henry made to Patrice Evra when they were watching the Arsenal game, saying he can't watch it while Granit Xhaka is the captain? Well, that's honestly what I feel like with Timo Werner right now. I just can't handle it. The man gets the ball, loses it every time. Does nothing. Does absolutely nothing. Werner lacks everything. Werner lacks everything. Honestly, I'm fuming. And why the fuck did not meant to as well, but oh well. The Fat Frank sub of Giroud. Well, but did we get so much worse than before? I don't think so. I mean, actually, no, we did probably. But the most annoying thing was, and this doesn't go for Frank Lampard, this doesn't go for Kai Havertz, doesn't go for any of that. This goes for the entire team. The last 10-15 minutes, I assume we were tired, but we was 1-1, had a poor defeat on the weekend, and we didn't look like trying to win the game for 1 second. Not for 1 second did we look like we were trying to win the bloody game. Why on earth is that the bloody reason? Why on earth is that the bloody case? I don't bloody understand this at all. This is outrageous from the lot of them. I mean, I guess Mason Mount was still trying, but everyone else, Ben Chilwell still. Reece James looked tired, and N'Golo Kante picked up the ball after we throw the ball in. I'm like, we have a throw in. The guy throws it, probably Chilwell, because it was on the left side. And Kante just picks the ball up with his hands. He thought the play was interrupted. Even if the play is interrupted, if you're not sure, how about you don't pick the ball up with your hands? Not that that would have changed anything to the result, obviously, but why are you picking the ball up with your hands? And it's honestly, it's an annihilation that's happening to us right now. Our wingers keep drifting inside. Yes, they do keep drifting inside. But that's what wingers are meant to do, right? Everyone's wingers do that. Fabian Brown saying, one thing I really hate about Timo Werner's game is the way he gets dragged off the wing. I don't know if that's what Lampard is telling him to do or if he doesn't know how to play on the wing. Now, the reason he does that is because he's not a winger. And he always comes inside, which is why this excuse of him playing on the wing being the reason he's not playing better is absolute bollocks, because he doesn't stay on the wing anyway. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. What about Timo Werner as number 9? Well, it's all well and good, but who does you play on the wing then with your Havertz and Ziyech unavailable? I said all summer long, I want us to sign another winger, and we didn't. And it's honestly ridiculous. And yes, Pulisic just see for the whole game, honestly, but he plays on the wrong side. This is my one frailty with Frank today. I'm not necessarily saying Frank's the fault for this, Frank's the fault for that. I don't necessarily agree with that. It's not just that simple. But especially when we was all praising him for 17 games in a row, and now he just gets, things don't go away for 2 games, and now he's awful again. It's not quite how it works, in my opinion. Change formation, not hard. Tom, people, please, Tom, think about what you're saying. We had 2 days between these 2 games. When on earth are we meant to have worked on this different magical formation that solves all our problems? When on earth would that have happened, right? We didn't even have pre-season. You can't just run around saying, oh, I should have changed formation. And then what? And then all the players say, oh, well, actually, we don't know what we're doing here. So what the bloody hell is the point? See, it's not that simple. It's really, really not that simple. Hamza saying Havertz is a waste of money. Like, I get he's poor. He genuinely is poor, and I'm not defending that. I'm just not as harsh on him as I am on Werner on the reasons I gave already. But that doesn't excuse him for being as awful as he is, right? But to say he was a waste of money is absolutely ridiculous. Kevin De Bruyne had poor games at the start of his career for Chelsea. We ended up selling him, and look at that now. And everyone's saying, "Oh, bad Mourinho. He's sold Kevin De Bruyne, and we hate him so much." And now all of the fans are pretty much on the verge of saying we should sell Havertz again. You lot need to think about what you're saying. You lot genuinely need to think about what you're saying. I missed the donation here. But Kevin Fraser again, another £2.99 donation, bro. Love that. Leverkusen set the price. Chill on Kai. Y'all, I agree with that. Don't know how to pronounce y'all in an American way, but I agree with the statement. I missed the old, don't know what you're talking about. Old what? Old who? Well, out of position, but definitely out of form as well. Out of form? That's the most nicest thing I've ever heard anybody say about it. It's ridiculous. I'm going to get bantered out of the block till Monday. Yeah, honestly, that's the worst thing. We don't have another game until Monday. And then we play West Ham, don't we? Is it West Ham? I'm waiting for my girlfriend to give me an answer behind this thing. Yes.
West Ham, Arsenal.
Yes. West Ham, Arsenal, Aston Villa. That's the thing. Ziyech should be in the first 11. But what I mean, he's injured. You don't need to know the team news at least. Jorginho must start. Well, I don't think Jorginho would have made a difference today, personally.
Yes, Jorginho must start.
How are you going to excuse Kante of picking the ball up? He was solid the whole game. Talk about how bad Havertz was. I don't know whether you're talking to me or someone else, because I actually said Kante was, alongside Pulisic, the best player, but fair enough. Why does Tammy always have to come on? He's not good. Talking as if Giroud was good. Yeah, he scored one goal, but other than that, it was awful as well. Bloody hell, you don't need to relax. Werner was trying to be a winger and take people on, but he just couldn't. Yeah, to be fair, no, actually, I will admit that. As much as I take the bike out of him and I criticize him, in the second half, Werner did at least try to take once. He tried, right? Once he tried to take the guy on, lost the ball, asked for a penalty. Clearly, it wasn't a penalty. He was lying on the floor for a minute. Stayed there. I'm like, bro, get up, get the ball back, try to go again. It was 1-1 at that point, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know what he was doing. But honestly, awful. Awful the bloody lot of them. And Frank needs to do something. Frank needs to bloody do something right now, because we need to fix the situation right now. We have until Monday. So if we don't have Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech available, if Pulisic maybe can't start again, maybe we need to work on a different formation. 5 days should be enough to work on a different formation, at least try it out. So maybe there is a chance to do a 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-4-2 diamond. Maybe. I'm not sure it's the best idea, but I understand now. I would see it as a valid option. These 2 games, no. When on earth would we have worked on that? Impossible. Impossible. Somebody tell me who's to blame. Well, bloody the whole team. It's not just a simple. It's not just Werner. It's not just Havertz. It's not just Frank. The bloody entire team, other than Kante and Pulisic, were awful today. Entire attacking team. Obviously, Zuma and Thiago Silva didn't do much wrong, and Mendy needed a Mendy. But Giroud scored 1 goal. Other than that, poor. Yes, good, but still didn't do nothing else. Okay, he was taken off. Maybe he would have done more. But also, you need to consider Olivier Giroud is 34 years old. Had a really tough game against Everton. A really physical game tonight. At 34, you don't just play the entire 90 all the time. People need to remember that. You know, as much as, you say, oh, it shouldn't come off and Tammy is poor. Yeah, but sometimes you just need to take a player off if they're tired. It just has to be like that. It just really has to be like that. Mount was fantastic. I mean, fantastic is maybe a strong overstatement. How about that, bro? Fantastic. In this team performance, I don't think so. I don't think so. He worked hard. I'll give him that. And he always does. And that's why I would never hate you, Mason Mount. But still, it's not quite it. It's not quite it. Another $5 this time donation by Mohammed Mustafa. Thank you for the donation, bro. Havertz and Werner have just haven't adjusted to the pace of the Premier League yet. They look tired by halftime. Once they do, I'm sure they will shine. I mean, that's bloody brilliant and everything, but it doesn't excuse the fact that Werner is just awful. And now, okay, I will even admit to some extent, the last 2 games, he was probably more awful because of playing on the wing, because he didn't actually have chances, right? But for my past criticisms of him, when it was misses against Newcastle, misses against Rennes, misses against Sheffield United, or was that before? Misses against Leeds, misses against bloody everybody. He wasn't in a wide position when he missed those chances. So that's not an excuse. For the last 2 games, fair enough. But again, what you're going to do about Frank Lampard if you don't have anyone available? But we have 1,000 people watching right now, so please be sure to subscribe. Drop a like right now, even if you just want to take the piss. Drop a like anyway, please. And also subscribe to my personal channel. Link is down in the description. I'll do another more in-depth analysis of this game over there tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon. I don't know yet. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and you'll see when I go live. So just do that. That'd be brilliant. But yeah, I'll do a couple of more questions from you guys, because I'm just human, and I'd rather enjoy a little bit more of my evening, quite frankly. Pulisic was the only creative player. Of course he was. He mostly is. Can Jorginho plays at number 10? No, he can't. Could have changed to a 4-1-2-1-2, focus through the middle rather than just hoping to put in all those crosses. Now, first of all, there's a reason very few teams play that system, because if the opposition just sits deep and blocks the middle off, you're not going to do nothing. And you're going to end up having to cross the ball anyway, even if you don't have any wingers on the pitch. And like I just said about 5 times already, but you lot don't seem to just pay attention, honestly. When on earth would we have worked on this different system? When would this have happened? We've played every 3 days since the start of the season, and our pre-season was 1 week long. So I don't know when this would have happened. I generally don't know when this. I generally don't mind putting Emerson in a wing. TMX Oblivion said, yeah, well, I'd rather that than Werner, quite frankly. What else did you say just before that? I just said that twice. Yuma is a beast of a person. He played well, but was unable to block the last shot. Yeah, that's it. Bring Barkley back. He's injured as well right now, so that's pointless. React to Frank Lampard's post-match interview live. How's that gonna happen then? How's that gonna happen? Also, pointless. Are we Lampard out yet? No, we're not. And that's ridiculous of anyone to say, because like I said, we were unbeaten for 17 games. We lose 2. All right, shit happens. It's not that simple. At least we're in the bloody Champions League, unlike certain other clubs. You lose 2 games every now and again. All right, the performance is awful, and I'm not saying he shouldn't do better. But to say Lampard out is the most ridiculous thing I've ever had. Other than saying Werner is good. That's even more ridiculous. While we're playing 4-3, we need to change formation. Boys, just listen to what I'm saying. At this point, you're pissing me off. Kevin De Bruyne was literally nothing as bad as Havertz. Yeah, but Kevin De Bruyne also played 4 games before we stopped using him. So there's an unbelievable comparison to make. You could be 90 tomorrow. I don't know if that's true, but we might be. Hey-ho. It is what it is. And the week after, we probably end up being 3rd again or top of the league. Who the hell knows? Chilwell pocketed Adama. Yeah, I will say, Chilwell was actually pretty good. Other than a couple of poor crosses. But another $5 donation by Mohammed Mustafa saying, Salah was trash at finishing like Werner is now. He could work on it. Salah was even worse than Werner. I mean, yes, but the difference is that Werner scored 30 goals last season, was the 4th highest in the golden boot, competition, runner, whatever. And now he can't score anymore. Then there's a big difference. There's a bad comparison. I'm sorry, bro. I appreciate the donation, but that's a bad comparison. It's a bad comparison. All right, already commented that bonus. Timo is German, Shane Long. Bit harsh. Havertz form is impacted by poor management. All right, that's just too easy, isn't it? What about Werner to be striker? Technically, he's not a winger. Yes, but again, obviously, I don't know when you guys have turned in, right? But like I just said already, who else do you play on the wing, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, if we play a 2 up top situation, and we play Werner on the wing and Giroud on the wing, Werner and striker and Giroud up top together, maybe we can try that. But again, up until now, when on earth would we have, tested and worked on those formations for them to actually work? And here we have another donation. This time, another $5 actually, but it is. Hopefully, I didn't butcher your name. But you said, or he said, there's something weird about the management of Pulisic by Frankie. Something behind the scenes, maybe. Thoughts? Well, the things I'm hearing are the fact that Pulisic was apparently not very pleased to not be involved against Everton. Again, take this with a pinch of salt. Still don't 100% know whether I trust his source. I know you're watching. Don't be offended. I have to wait a little bit until I trust that. Any which way, apparently was very surprised and slightly offended by not being on the pitch against Everton, or in the squad against Everton, and then apparently was really surprised that he started today. So it's a bit weird. I don't know. Don't know what to make of it, but he played the whole game and he seemed fine at the end. So let's hope he can play again next week. What about changing to a 3? Your formation started with a 3, so I'm not a fan already. At least Pulisic played 90 today. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I would have rather he played 60 or 70 minutes, to be honest. Where is Joe? He should be on the wing. Oh, bloody hell, people. All right, guys. Bonus. Please just inform yourselves. Watch my previews, please. Don't waste the day before a game. Hassano is injured. Don't say these things. Havertz is a donkey. He takes no risks. No, he loves donkeys. That's how it works. Havertz is Deadwood. No, he's a donkey. Fabian Brown saying, I think the Werner Giroud combo up top could work nicely. Could work since Werner played next to a physical striker last season. However, I understand your points with your formations. Thank you. A £10 donation by Blue FT216. Again, why don't we try a new formation? 4-1-2-1-2. I know it needs training. System only works if all the players are at it. And tonight, we had at least 6 starters who were average or worse at best. I agree with the last part of this. But again, what I'm trying to say is, if we just played a different system, we would be even worse than we were today. That's what I'm trying to say. A system that you haven't worked on, with defensively even more open. Because defensively, excuse me. How many chances did Wolves have? 3 real chances? Maybe 4. Well, I mean, we had 2, but still, I guess. We have patience, lads. Rupam said, have patience, lads. We all building our squad. We are nowhere near the top 4 right now. I mean, we bloody should be because we was in there last year, so that makes no sense. Pulisic is going to have back injuries from now carrying the team, probably. But he didn't carry it well enough. We didn't win. Jorginho double pivot. I hate the double pivot. Sorry. But Mendy good, yeah. Man City 1-1 West Brom. Is that the current score? Fair enough. Mate, you're going way too easy on Kai compared to Timo. I don't care if you had that was over a month. It's just not good enough. Like I just said. Lewis Hamilton, Timo, not Timo Werner, Paul Pogba. Talk to people, talk to scientists, talk to doctors. It will affect you long term if you suffer from it badly. It will. I don't understand why he keeps starting, personally. You know, he's struggling with form. Just start Kovacic. At least people wouldn't be going so hard in on him. But you don't have an option of not starting Werner unless you play Emerson or Alonso on the wing or Andrin. But unless you do that, you don't have a choice. So I get that one. But Havertz shouldn't have started today, personally. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But we've been going for over half an hour now. And at this point, I'm going to say goodbye. Like I said earlier already, first of all, subscribe to Blues Fans TV. Secondly, smash the like button right now. Cheer me up a little bit. That'd be brilliant. And also, subscribe to my personal channel. Link is down in the description. Or you just type in my name, Laurens Vescoli, that one here, over on YouTube. Subscribe over there. We'll be doing a more in-depth analysis on the game tomorrow evening rather. And, we'll be doing that. Please tune in for that. Subscribe for that. Hit the turn the post notifications on so you don't miss that. But I think I'm going to leave it here. Like I said at the beginning already, do use the link down in the description below if you fancy getting any of the new Chelsea kits, Chelsea gear, any football game, in honesty. Use the link down below and use our promo code VAR65 for up to 65% off. But yeah, guys, that's really been it from me. I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. As always, it's upwards and onwards. And I'll see you when I see you.